Yes, guys, and welcome back to the Irish Hotspur. It's your boy David, and I am here to dish out some homework tonight to EGAB, to Northside London, and to help me, my co-pilot in tonight's chair will be Shawnee from Spurs Talk Show, and Jack will be in the middle trying to keep the peace. Look, we'll start with you, Jack. How are you keeping, my man?
Keeping well, Dave. You know, it's almost kind of like a build up for a sort of very scary kind of holiday. You could say this North London Derby. We have all the content prepared. We're going kind of fit and firing with plenty of stuff out there, and I'm looking forward to this one most. I know we're speaking to Benji from Weird Time TV, but it's nice to see Dave. You kind of get your chance maybe to kind of unleash at maybe the Gooners here that are also, like you were about to say, maybe very generous of their time as well as very brave to come on here tonight. So we should definitely show them some respect. But Dave, nonetheless, just really looking forward to it.
No, 100%. Absolutely love that. Shawnee boy, how are you keeping, lad?
I'm good, Dave. I'm really good, mate. Looking forward to this one. It's been a long time since I've been on a stream with some of the old enemy.
It's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting for sure. Northside, welcome back to the channel, man. How are you keeping?
¿Qué pasó? I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm here. Yeah, nervous for this one. I can't lie. I'm nervous. So yeah.
Good. Absolutely love it. An honest gooner. That's what we love around here. From an honest gooner to a deluded gooner. Egan, how are you keeping, brother?
Listen. There's no difference between me and Northside. It's just he's always pessimistic. I'm always pessimistic. You know what I mean? That's what it is. That's what it is. You know what it is? But today, I'm hopeful that we won't be on each other's necks. And
they got to be teammates.
We'll be on your necks today.
Yeah, look, you have to beat us for that to happen. We absolutely humiliated you at the end of last season. Everybody, we are going to make good use of the boys' time, and fair play to the boys turning up. It goes without saying, we can all have banter. Let's throw the banter around the place, but let's not cross the line with it at all. And guys, feel free to get your super chats in. It's a great way to help support the channel. Also, shut us up. Maybe join in the banter, have a good laugh, post questions to the panel for us to answer. And it's just highlight your comments. If the comment section does get hot and heavy, highlights the comment. We will bring it up and we'll all have a say on it. But guys, as you know, part of the deal is keep getting your comments in and we will bring them up as we go along, guys. And also smash that like button or that subscribe button if you haven't. But look, Jack, I'll take it away. Let's get into it, brother.
Let's get into it, Dave. Some very introductory sort of kind of formality kind of questions, you could say, kind of introductory questions. We'll go to Northside first since he was here last time on the channel. Northside, since we've seen you last, how are you, since that sort of spanking at the greatest stadium in the world football? Summer okay? Has the fall been treating you well? Everything been good for you kind of Arsenal-wise since then?
Yeah, I mean, everything. Listen, Arsenal-wise, we didn't do what we needed to do in the summer. And anyone that tells you that we did is chatting rubbish because we didn't. A lot of things that we needed to address, we didn't. Once again, no shocker there. But we've beaten the teams that we needed to beat. But the first test against Man United, the Man United side that a lot of Arsenal fans disrespected, we got served up humble pie, and I feel like we haven't learned from how to deal with counter-attacking teams. And this is why going into this game, even though I understand why some Arsenal fans will be a little bit confident, I'm not as confident because I think Man United kind of exposed how to beat us, give us the ball and hit us on the counter, just the way that you guys play.
That's true. That's our bread and butter. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
The game kind of plays into your hand just because stylistically you play the style that can really hurt us. And yeah, so it is what it is. Even against Zurich, they once or twice got in and behind. And if they had better players, that could have been a different game. And they played counter-attacking football and we got exposed once again. Luckily, we had the better quality and we won that game. But still a lot to be done at Arsenal. And I don't judge us against teams that we're supposed to beat. I judge us against the big six teams as you guys. So
yeah, sure, absolutely, and I think that's an honest answer there. And as well, despite maybe it being a bit of a spanking, I think you found maybe a decent way to recover, you could say, this season. To you, Igal, how are you getting on with Thursday nights?
We played one game. It hasn't been that good.
So really, not plural. That's my fault. I probably should have edited that question. So maybe just, I guess we've had a few so far, Tuesday and Wednesdays, but Thursday night's yet to come, I could say. But I mean, what would you say though? Kind of the same question that I gave to Northside though. I mean, since that sort of last season spanking at the beautiful stadium, the greatest stadium in the world, do you feel like maybe Arsenal have found a way to recover in a way, or do you feel like maybe you're still a bit iffy?
All we did was we just went into the summer and we addressed some key areas that we should have addressed regardless. And when it comes to starting the season, I agree with Northside. We beat a lot of the teams that we should have beat, but at the same time, not a lot of teams can say they can start the season 6 out of their first 7 with wins. That is still something where we shouldn't be looking at it as, oh, it's something that you look past. Realistically, how many teams go and win 6 out of their first 7? It doesn't happen that often, and I'm quite happy with how we started the season. I think the season so far has been really good.
There you go. Very good. Nice opening statements from the lads there, Dave. But I mean, might as well just get straight into the next question, though. Everyone is praising Arteta and Arsenal at the minute, while Tottenham seem to be sort of flying under the radar and remain invincible. What do you think, Sean? Do you feel like I've said this kind of last night, just a quick sort of introductory kind of question to you. Do you feel like sort of maybe Arsenal have been the media darlings maybe this season, whereas Spurs have sort of maybe flown under the radar?
Yeah, I think the transition from the way Arsenal finished the season last time out into how they've started is probably the main catalyst behind that. You know, I'm happy for Arsenal to get all of the pressure from the plaudits that are being thrown at them from, you know, all the mainstream media and the kind of media channels on YouTube. I'm happy for that to happen. You know, keep writing Tottenham off at your peril. But right. I do think that, you know, part of the reason for that kind of shift in attention is just because of how poor it finished for Arsenal last year and then how quickly they come out of the blocks. So what the boys were saying, though, I completely agree. Like, you have to give them credit for the way they have started. But, you know, this, apart from Manchester United, you know, where they were exposed a little bit, if you were to see it through a certain, you know, a particular lens, the only other game they've really struggled with this season, I thought, was the second half against Crystal Palace. So it's going to be a really interesting battle. And I think we'll learn more about Tottenham on the weekend. I think we will about Arsenal. Arsenal are expected to do well against Tottenham at their place. So if Arsenal beat us, I don't know how much we learn, but if Tottenham beat Arsenal, I think maybe then the narrative and the attention can shift towards Tottenham being the underdogs that should be taken more seriously.
You just don't realise though, Shawnee, Arsenal are giving us an early Christmas gift. They're usually top of the league by Christmas and then they crumble. They're absolutely famous for it. So it's just an early Christmas gift they're giving us, my man.
Definitely an early Christmas gift.
I was trying to be respectful before the banter really kicks in. I don't know how long we've got.
If I'm not mistaken though, Tottenham were given a lot of praise at the beginning of the season, before the season was starting in the summer. When you guys signed Bissouma, at that time in the summer, people were tipping you guys as title contenders, title favorites. Yeah, people were saying Tottenham now have more pull than Arsenal. They have more pull than Chelsea, more pull than Man United.
Still true, but yeah.
So start of the summer, I agree. As the season carried on, I think, and a lot of people in the chat will definitely verify this, that as our window kind of petered off, because we got most of our business done early, I think even within the Tottenham community, a lot of people suddenly had their expectations got dampened a little bit because we didn't.
A lot of people thought we started too hot, kind of. A lot of people thought we kind of, signed everybody so quickly to sort of take over the whole window, kind of make everybody pay attention to Spurs. But then towards the end of the window, felt like kind of everybody sort of caught up with the rest of Spurs and whatnot.
I've seen it a different way. I just seen it as you guys wanted another center back though of quality to put in that back four, but you didn't end up getting that. You got Longley, and then it was kind of underwhelming the end of your.
And we still need another one in most Spurs fans' eyes. We still need another one on top of that as well.
Where Northside already touched on it for us. Although I think we had a decent window, we still should have signed some cover for Thomas Partey. And you know what? They never viewed that as something they needed to do until the final day of the window when everyone got injured.
Speaking of which, though, and Thomas Partey, just kind of I don't know, off script here, kind of guys. Northside, do you know any kind of inside info on Thomas Partey? Is he going to be available for this North London derby?
It keeps changing every day, but from the last I heard, he's available. He's available, but. For me, I just
is he going to pull off after 20 minutes like Tomiyasu did that one time, or is he going to play a whole 90 minutes?
We handled Partey very well, because I remember he got injured when he came to Arsenal. He got injured, and I remember a game where Arteta pushed him back on the field, and then since then he's had reoccurring injuries, and he was only out with his nation. He didn't even play, and he got another injury, which means, was he rushed back? Did they maybe give him an injection for the match against Brentford? And then he's picked up another injury because he's playing.
No, sir, you read that all wrong, my friend.
I don't know. I don't know enough about it.
Let me tell you what happened. Because I've been following this very closely. Basically, after he came back from his injury and he played against Brentford, he was still going to go on that international tour, regardless if he was picked for the Brentford game or not, because he was fit enough to play. When they took him, because it was the last games before the World Cup, and he's going to the World Cup. So during the Brazil warm up, he felt uncomfortable and he said, I don't feel comfortable. They told him they took him off the team sheet. They completely took him out of the team. And the final game, Arsenal requested for him to come back early. So he didn't play that final game because Arsenal requested for him to come back early. He then flew back before the final game for the Ghana Internationals. And that's why he's with the team training in full training rather than finishing up his Ghanaian camp. But I hear you with Arteta misusing him at times. He definitely, because we have no other choice, bro. It's either you play.
Why don't we?
If only he had the steel of Højbjerg, though, because Højbjerg, guys, I'm pretty sure he has titanium legs, where it feels like it's kind of brittle legs by the looks of it.
I'll be honest, all I hear is
that's
excuses for Partey trying to get out of another North London derby. We all remember the famous images of him limping off while we went on to score. You know, I think he's just looking to get out of another North London derby, if I'm being brutally honest.
No. Let's not forget, Thomas Partey was a linchpin in that midfield in the North London derby where we won 3-1. He also was a part of the midfield, if I'm not mistaken, the year prior to that at home. It's just let's not act like away from home in derbies, the team that travels doesn't tend to travel well. That is just a fact.
That's true. But by the looks of things, from what I heard from Northside, it's a linchpin keeping those knees together for Thomas Partey for this North London derby. Dermot here with the super chat saying, we are the mighty Tottenham Hotspur, the pride of North London, where the color is always going to be white and blue. Arsenal better fear us because Conte's blue and white army coming to take 3 points back. White Hart Lane. Dave, I mean, we probably asked you this 1,000 times, but it's good for these guys to hear it. I mean, it's been a very, very difficult 3 points to attain, to do it away from home for the opposition side. Can Spurs do it this time around? Can we make Dermot proud?
Jacko came up with a famous line on Eagle's show. You know, Conte is here to break records and start traditions, my man. You know, so for me, I think, you know, we'll definitely, I think we're in with a serious chance at the Emirates this time round. And look, with that super chat, I almost feel like our DOA fans should walk up to the stadium, lad, to be honest, with a marching band beside them, because Dermot's just getting me absolutely pumped up for this game. And look, these deluded gooners underneath us, Jacko, you know, which is where they're ultimately going to end up this season, if we're being brutally honest. For me, they just don't get it. It's different under Conte. It's so much different under Conte. They're living off what happened under Nuno last season. It's so much different under Conte. Different mentality, a better manager. You know, we're not the ones that have to play, you know, the rival fan songs to get the players geared up for a game and used to an atmosphere. We're not the ones that have to pull light bulbs out of our pockets. We're not the ones that have to draw diagrams to try and get these guys up for games. You know, we just steamroll in, Jack, with our marching band, with the Tottenham Army. You know, we just get the 3 points and we walk out again. Arsenal fans make a big fuss about 3 points. To us, it's just business. It's job done. Move on to the next one. That's the way I see this North London derby going. It's going to be different this time around. I can't wait. Big up, Dermotron. Honestly, that super chat deserves to come with a marching band.
It should have a whole banner itself, Dave, as they're marching down the lane, Dave. Like you said, Philip Brady with the super chat saying, most important North London derby in years, should be an epic one. Respect to the two Arsenal lads, but I hope they're disappointed by 2:30 Saturday. Good question maybe for both of you here at Gal and kind of North Side. Start with the Gal. Do you have kind of a coping sort of kind of meal maybe after a nice spanking that Spurs give you in the North London derby? Is it a pizza? Is it a nice curry? Anything that, you know, maybe a go-to? Maybe
should be Italian in respect to Conte.
Listen,
yeah, maybe an ice cream.
You guys are not winning.
So I guess he doesn't have any meal plans. He doesn't have any meal plans.
It doesn't matter what happens. You are not coming to the Emirates and leaving with 3 points.
There you go.
Remember this. Put it wherever you want. It's not happening.
There you go, Philip.
I'm going to make you viral after this weekend.
North side, any sort of celebratory meals or maybe meals to cope that you use after these sort of games?
No, listen, I'm not
Any
confident
Portuguese
about
kind
this
of
match.
branzino kind of fish or something like that? That could be kind of tasty.
Maybe bitok, maybe some pastel de natas. Maybe this is normal. This is nothing special because we're facing Spurs. Listen, I'm not confident. I'm not confident, right? I'm not
All right.
confident because I'm like I said before, I'm not happy with the way this manager and Edu are building this team. I don't really rate Arteta. Also, there's some players that they've picked that I'm not impressed by. And the squad, the fact that we got 15-year-olds on the bench, the fact that we mentioned on the party, we have a rotation for him, the fact that we don't have rotation for a lot of players. We don't have rotation for Gabriel. We don't have rotation for Saka. Saka's not been the Saka we saw last season. We don't have rotation for Martinelli. The midfield hasn't been focused on Martinelli. We're playing Ben White as a right back. The guy's got no recovery pace, and I don't rate him. I think he's pants. You know what I mean? So I didn't understand.
They rate him on Love Island, though, to be fair.
I don't get why Arsenal fans were bare rattled about Maguire going. Like, they're both the same thing. Like, there's no difference. But he's trash. He is trash. Ben White is trash. He's absolutely trash. Defensively, he's trash. Saliba's come in and shown him the levels. He's not good enough. And if he plays
Saliba, I'm very jealous of, I must admit. I'm very jealous.
He'll be exposed. You know what I mean? And it's just a fact. Xhaka started the season off decent, but we already know the level of Xhaka. He ain't good enough. I don't need another season. I've seen 6 of him not being good enough.
Sorry, he'll be sent off by about the half-an-hour mark anyway if he plays on Saturday. So
I don't rate players. I don't rate players by doing the job against.
He's playing higher up the pitch, though, lads. He's playing higher up.
A red card is a red card, Jack, whichever part of the pitch it happens in.
I'm just being real. Like, if Gal calls me negative, I wasn't the one that didn't buy players in the summer. I wasn't the one that got rid of 6 players in January and didn't replace. I'm not the one that made this team as dead as it is.
I never call you negative, bro. I call you pessimistic. Come on, bro. If negative is something bad, pessimistic is a little bit like you're not always like glass half full. You're kind of glass half empty.
There's no point being cocky because a lot of Arsenal fans were cocky going to Man United and they got offered their asses. I would have wanted Conte at Arsenal, but we continuing with this bum that's learning his stripes here at Arsenal. He ain't good enough. When you're looking at his squad building, who we got off the bench? A 15-year-old Lokonga, Eddie Nketiah.
You're never going to give Arteta flowers until he wins.
Oh, what flowers? You have to win. This is Arsenal, not Tottenham. It's about winning. Yeah, their trophy is Son and Kane. Arsenal, you have to win. That is the expectation.
No matter what, boys, honestly, somebody's going to be getting flowers after the end of this result. I can tell you that. But Philip Brady, by the looks of it, I think North side, he has some good coping mechanisms in case, it doesn't go well for them. Gal's full of confidence. So hopefully he has some sort of coping mechanism in case it doesn't go well.
I'll tell you this. I've never had to worry after a North London derby for about 30 years. So I'm good.
What happened at the end of last season?
What happened? I was there. We won 3-1. I'm talking about games at the Emirates, my friend. I'm not talking about
at the library. Sorry,
I'm not talking about at the toilet bowl. Anyway.
Got to keep your voice down over at the library.
I just want to say, though, quickly, big up, Philip. He's in hospital getting a kidney stone removed. So big yourself up, Philip.
Big up, mate. Feel better soon, bro. Feel better soon.
There's no library. You guys are disrespecting the North London derby by trying to call it a library. Me and you both know it's the best derby in the Premier League. And when it comes down to it, both fans are up for it. And at the Emirates, lately, it's not been quiet at all. Everyone's been up. Everyone's been energetic. Everyone's been happy. The mood around the club has been ecstatic. And it's been nowhere near that library that you guys keep referring to. The reason why it was a library at a certain point was because no one was happy in 2019, 2020. We were watching Aston Villa slap us. We're watching random teams come to our house and slap us on a regular basis. Right now, it's a different situation. We're not as bad as we used to be. We're actually a lot better than we were a couple years ago. A couple years ago, I didn't even want to watch the team half the time.
Are you happy with this squad, Igo?
Bro, it's not that I'm happy with the squad. Obviously, I would always want more to compete on the grandest stage. But at this moment in time, we are in a much better situation than we were 2-3 years ago, and that's all I'm pointing out.
I must say, though, lads, I mean, I'm going to be listening to this game on silent regardless because I will be watching, doing the watch along, and I can't listen to the commentary while doing my own. So it is going to sound like a library regardless if it has been quite loud this season. So it is good, though, a gal that maybe it has improved. I guess what maybe how things have changed.
It won't compare though.
Arsenal.
There's no chance if you were to take whatever those things do that measure the decibels, whatever those tools are called. If you were to take one of them, ain't no chance of what happens on Saturday, especially because it's an early morning game. Everyone's still tired. The pubs haven't been open long enough. Ain't no chance it's going to come close to whatever decibels were raised back in April at the Tottenham Stadium. That was a different level.
No chance.
Time to come together, though, here, lads. And, let's acknowledge that we've both done quite well this season to begin with. One of us is still undefeated, let's be honest, while the other is actually sort of top of the league and is enjoying that kind of, heavy heights of being top of the league. I'm going to start with you here, Gal, because I imagine, at least, I don't know, maybe I might get an optimistic answer here. Arsenal, they've kind of been sort of touted as being a potential challenger for Man City because the likes of Liverpool, Chelsea, they don't really seem fit enough to do it at this moment in time. Do you feel like Arsenal sort of could maintain like a semblance of a title challenge with Man City this season?
I would love to say yes, but realistically, let's be honest, boys and girls.
It feels like the narrative is like somebody's going to fill that role, but maybe nobody might.
Honestly, I just feel like City are default winners this season, unless something miraculous happens where we go into January and we strengthen our team and we're still in contention and somehow we fluke a league. But there's no way this team is anywhere near winning a league yet. I still feel like we're so many parts away from that. Like, in order to have a complete team in this league, you have to get close to or as close to possible as 90 points. I don't think we're ready to make that big of a jump. What did we finish with last year? Like high 60s? We might get mid 70s. We might make mid 70s. We might even get close to 80s if we're really lucky. But I don't think
90s to.
But I don't think you're getting anywhere near the high to mid 80s to get a league title this season. True. That's just not sustainable. And the way that we're playing, although it is sustainable, the way that we're playing and the way that we're performing, grinding out these results, just I don't see the team holding up. I don't see the squad being good enough to get us to a league title yet. That you have to have a team where you feel like everything is perfect.
I know what you mean. I kind of agree there because it feels like it almost in this, despite us both being, very good at this moment in time in the league, it sort of feels like the big media narrative is to find some sort of challenger for Man City. But maybe the reality is that Man City are just leaps and bounds beyond everybody. Sean, would you agree with me on that? That maybe Man City are just the default winner, kind of like Agal said, but I don't know if you welcome to, and if you feel that optimistic, you're welcome to entertain me here. Are either of these teams capable of sort of maintaining a semblance of a title challenge?
No, I don't think so. I agree with the Gal. I think that the only variable that could have really shaken things up was if the World Cup provided a lot of injuries or a lot of players from certain teams going deep that were unexpected, and the fact that Haaland I don't think is even going to the World Cup unless I'm mistaken.
Right.
So he
That's broken. That's stupid.
he's gonna have a
he's
month
even
off.
Sponsored by those crazy whatever those hypo chamber leg things as well. He's just going to be using those the whole World Cup time period, watching all the games. That's unfair.
So, the best team in the world's best player or one of their best players is going to have a month off to get stronger and stronger and be completely refreshed for the second half, and everybody else has to factor in the exhaustion and the potential of injuries. I think that both Arsenal and Tottenham can massively improve on their relative points tallies from last season. But I think ultimately the gap will probably between where you finished last season and first will probably extend itself, because I think Manchester City could go on to hit like a potentially maybe even an all-time high point score. So I think that the real race is for second. It'd be brilliant for Tottenham or Arsenal to finish second, however big that gap is behind Manchester City. It's his own race.
I disagree.
If you ask Northside, second, first losers. So neither of us want to finish second. We all want to win, right?
But we also want to live in reality. So
at the same time, the real question should be who's gonna finish higher between the two of us. Because I feel like the whole title challenge thing, we all know, tongue in cheek, neither of us are realistically.
I disagree.
expecting.
I disagree.
Expecting a
Antonio
trauma.
Conte walked into the Chelsea job, took them to the title when no one gave him a chance, and he's going to do the same this time round. Look, I get it. Man City are an absolute incredible team. Couple of injuries, though. There's no reason why Tottenham can't push on. We've got a bit more squad depth. We haven't even come out of the traps yet. We're unbeaten and we haven't even got going yet, to be honest with you. We're only starting to warm up into this season. Leicester was the pre-match, you know, you guys are pre-match meal, and then at the weekend, then it's the real thing. It's 3 points in the bag. Look, I genuinely believe we could be in for a shock this season. It's capable. Leicester proved they could. There's no reason why Tottenham can't.
Let me ask you a quick question. Name 5 players who've been there, done that, and won leagues that can help you guide your team through this, that are actually currently in your first team, that are going to help you push to this league title. Because besides Perisic, and possibly if you want to count Lloris's trophies from when he was in France, I can't think of anybody else in your team.
Bentekers, Kulusevski.
Kulusevski with Juventus, okay. Who else?
Bentekers with Juve as well.
Eric Dyer speaks 6 languages, so that's a trophy in its own.
Who's the final one?
Sonny with the Asia Cup, maybe.
Højbjerg with Bayern Munich.
That doesn't count. Højbjerg played 18 games in 3 seasons at Bayern Munich. That doesn't even count as
well, he learned to be a winner there, though. He learned that's what you get trained in the academy, right? At Bayern is to be a winner. So he learned.
Come on. We all know you're pulling strings here. My point is you don't have the experience to pull you through a league title campaign. Similar to how we don't have that right now.
If either Tottenham or Arsenal, though, are within 3 points of Man City, either way, if you're 3 points ahead, obviously, but if you're even 3 points behind by the turn of the year coming into January, I think that there's reason to be to think there's a title race on your hands. You know,
100%. If we listen, Arsenal fans are getting excited because we won 6 out of our first 7 games. Tottenham fans are getting excited because they're undefeated 7 games into the season, deservedly so. But once we get to 20 games, that's when we actually know what's up.
Yeah.
Kind of a different question here for you, Northside, because I feel like they kind of all answered it. And I'll be honest, I've agreed with them. Do you feel like sort of Spurs as well as Arsenal, maybe one or the other, you could also say, are maybe replacing the likes of Liverpool and maybe, Chelsea with that kind of 2nd and 3rd spot?
Arsenal, no way in hell. Tottenham do have a chance, yeah. Arsenal, no way, because we don't have any rotation. The midfield is still trash. Gabriel, if we get injured to Gabriel, season's over. If we get because then we got Nketiah and he's trash. Then if you get an injury to Ramsdale, you got Tina Turner, he's trash. So we're literally giving these away, and it's all going to fall apart. The fact that we saw some of these rotation players playing behind closed doors against Brentford B team, they couldn't beat them. Against Zurich, we had Marquinhos saving us in that game against Zurich. We had to bring on the big boys to handle Zurich, that are 9th in the Swiss league, that are below grasshoppers. Yeah, shows you where we are. This is why I don't get gassed. Arsenal, no way in hell. You need a squad to be able to compete. He got rid of players that are better than the ones that he brought in. Guendouzi's better than Lokonga. Davaj is not even here, so Kolasinac is probably better than him because he's not even good enough and he only just brought him in. Then you have Granit Xhaka, he's not that great. Thomas Partey can't stay fit. El Nene wasn't good enough when we had 10 games to go last season just to fit in for 10 games, get us top 4. So he's trash, and we already know that. Saka has to play whether he's playing well or not. And this season, he hasn't been that great. He hasn't been trash, but he hasn't been that great. Martinelli, there's no rotation. Got rid of Pepe, no rotation there. Then when you look at centre-backs, you've got Ben White. I mean, Saliba goals. Then you've got Gabriel that has lapses in concentration. You got Holding ain't good enough. You got Ben White, also not good enough.
Still holding on to Son, still to this day.
No, it's fine.
You got the right back option that we're preferring to play a centre back out of position because none of our right backs are good enough. So when you look at this squad, they weren't so this is the reality. And as soon as we have to start using some of our bench, you start to see the levels. And this is why I want this manager out. Now, Tottenham, I think you guys have shown us, you've embarrassed Arsenal because your manager's been here less than a year.
Pioneers.
Has been able.
Pioneers.
Listen, look, you've embarrassed us because in less time, yeah, this manager's been able, less transfer windows, been able to get in more players in for rotation and your starting lineup. He's plugged the holes where need be, where we haven't strengthened. The midfield has not strengthened. We are going once again in a campaign with only one good striker, just like last season when we had Aubameyang. Whether you rate him or not, he was the only decent striker. Because Lacazette ain't good enough, and neither was Nketiah. And still,
Bro, if Eddie Nketiah started from
So,
January, we would
at
have
the end
got
of the day,
top
bro, at the end of the day, this
Nketiah-
manager's on to 4 years ago, and I have not seen the same
Now, let me ask you a
of
question.
building a
If
team
Eddie
as I've
Nketiah-
seen with Conte. And Conte's a
outside.
winner. So
If Eddie Nketiah started over Lacazette,
Eddie Nketiah is trash.
if Eddie
outside.
Nketiah would have started over Lacazette from January, we would have got top 4, bro. Because Lacazette was missing.
Why is he not scoring this season?
Lacazette was missing gilt-edged chances. He played one game and he got a goal and an assist.
What, and Nketiah
I
doesn't.
think I've got a spare radar somewhere. I'll send it.
Nketiah this season.
Nketiah doesn't. He's bro. We've played teams we're supposed to be lower teams, and he still can't get a goal. So don't
What
talk
are
to
you
me about
talking
Nketiah.
about?
He was handed a few
Before
goals.
he signed
for
the
the
contract,
season.
he scored 5 Premier League goals. What? No, 10 Premier League goals in 5 seasons, something like that.
Nketiah has 1 star, 1
He ain't
goal,
good
1
enough.
assist in the league.
You lot said the same thing about Lacazette when we got rid of Aubameyang, and what did he do? What did he do? Yeah,
Bro,
come on, bro.
You're not listening to what
I gotta
said.
be honest. Northside's the greatest Arsenal fan I've ever ever met.
No, yeah, you want to be friends with them.
He's doing a better job than us
Be
at
friends with
slamming
them.
Arsenal. It's fantastic.
And he can, and he knows
I
his
wanna-
dishes,
bro, I
Sean.
wanna
Did you
win-
see some of
I
the
wanna
dishes
win
he
the
was
league.
mentioning to cope with the loss?
I want to win the league. I want to
Yeah,
win the
they-
league. We got rid of Arsene Wenger because top 4 wasn't good enough, and now all of a sudden it's the Holy Grail. No,
so
I didn't forget why we got
who
rid of
has
him.
higher
Dave,
standards?
Dave,
Who has-
Dave,
who
yes,
has
we're gonna
higher
get Dave in
standards?
here. We're gonna get
Who
Dave
has
in here.
higher
Come on, Dave.
standards? Is it Arsenal or is it Tottenham?
Well, right now them because they're saying they want to go for the league, and you're just saying, "No, it's a process. Let's get 4."
I never said it's a
Northside.
process. I
Northside.
said realistically, we're not going to win the league, and you agree
why
with
should-
me.
Well, how come
Dave
they
has
got
a
manager
question.
for
Dave
less
has a
than
question
and they're
for
ready to
Northside
go
here,
for the league?
lads.
And we've had this guy almost 4 years, and we're not ready, and we spend more money than them.
Say it again.
How come their managers had less than a year and they're ready to compete for a league title, but we have had this guy, this bum, for 4 years, and we're still not ready, and we spend more money?
I don't
than
think they're ready either.
Next
Two
question.
teams that aren't ready. Two teams that aren't ready. Somebody's got to beat one other. But Dave, I think you wanted to say something to Northside here.
I was just going to say, go on, brother, let it out. Go on, let the secret out. Show us
Therapy
that Spurs jersey underneath. Come on.
Man, I don't really care about you.
Come
lot.
on, my
You
man.
lot compete for league titles,
Come
bro.
on.
I don't really care about Tottenham. I'll be real with you. Like, I don't really care. Like, you lot don't win nothing. You lot have had the greatest players you lot ever had, and you lot don't win anything. So don't get it twisted. I don't like your club.
You said
I
a few
respect-
minutes
I
ago we
respect
were
what you lot are
pioneers.
doing, but I don't care about you guys. You don't win trophies. That's a fact. That's not me being salty.
No, it's
Arsenal
true.
fan. It's a fact. But at the end of the day, what I'm seeing is the expectation from some Arsenal fans are sounding like they almost, dare I say, they should be Tottenham fans because they don't care about winning.
They've accepted
We should be
reality.
outraged with the money that we
It's
spend.
not
we should be
easy.
outraged.
It's never been harder to win a trophy than it is right now. Though, ever since the money's poured in the last 10 years, when Tottenham fans look at the gap it has been for Tottenham to win a trophy, compare it to the years gone by when we would win a couple of FA Cups or whatever every decade. I think there's a little bit of an oversight into how difficult it has been since the oil money's come in. The ability or like Manchester City, if you want to win any trophy this year, whether it's the Champions League, the title, or any cup, at some point you have to either overcome Man City or you have to overcome a team that's overcome Man City. And at the moment, that looks particularly difficult to do. So for me, I know I get slated for this as a Tottenham fan, but winning a trophy isn't necessarily like if you don't win a trophy, failure to win a trophy, I don't think is necessarily a failed season.
But when you spend the money, like we spend the third most money in this league. Only the
350
Manchester
million.
United club spend more than Arsenal, yeah? A lot of Arsenal fans don't like looking at the books because they're more comfortable with, oh, we ain't got oil money. But when you actually do the maths, yeah, the maths ain't mathing. We spend the big money, but we blow it. And what do we, in football, when you spend the money, there's expectation. So why is it the expectation? We spend the money, but the expectation's never high. I never understand that. Whereas with
It's been
Tottenham,
spent like oil money, I must say. By the looks of it, it's almost been an oil money budget.
Expectations this season for both clubs are pretty much the same, if I'm not mistaken.
No.
Sneak a trophy if you can, grab a trophy if you can, and do as best you can in the league.
No. Your guys.
Finish
your
as high as
guys'
possible.
expectation-
Our expectation is to finish as high as possible in the league, secure Champions League football next season via the league, and also try to win the Europa League. That is the goal at the end of the day.
No, your
Right.
first expectation is to free up Wednesdays and Tuesdays for next season, which probably won't happen. It might not happen. Your second expectation is
First
to
of all,
try
that
and get
will
into
happen
the Big
because
Boy
Chelsea
League.
and Man United are terrible. And if you're putting either of them ahead of us, I question your ball knowledge, my guy. Respectfully.
Look, I'll clip you at the end of the season. You'll have to apologize to me. But look, what I
No,
will
but who
say
do you
is
have against us? Who do you have ahead of us?
our expectation coming into this season, well, my expectation coming into this season was closing the gap on Man City and going for a title challenge. Your expectation is to be able to watch Emmerdale on Thursday nights instead of have to put it on record. So, you know, for us, I think I wouldn't say we have the same expectations. Ours is just a level above. And look, Igal, I know it's hard to accept. It's just the reality of the situation we're in North London right now. You guys had your spell of dominance. Now it's our turn.
But Dave, who is your top four? Who is your top four?
What have you done with this spell of dominance? What have you actually achieved?
I'm with Igal on this one. What's spell of dominance?
In order to have something of dominance,
the history teachers are in town.
Something. Because you want to know something? Let me educate you guys. In your spell of dominance, we have been able to still pick up trophies in said FA Cups, where you guys have gone to a Champions League final, the same amount of Champions League finals as our club, of course, but that is your greatest achievement, going to a final and losing. Our achievements throughout this time of poorness, where we've been horrendous, has been pick up FA Cup and still be disappointed and want the manager out. Pick up a FA Cup, still be disappointed and want a manager out. Pick up another FA Cup and say, you know what, give the manager time, but some people still upset with him. The next year we find out we're even worse. We're like, fuck this guy. And somehow he's still here. And you know what? He's turned things around for me to be backing him again. But some people don't want to back him anymore.
Geez, you guys are probably still playing Sega Mega Drives.
What?
You guys are probably still playing Sega Mega Drives. Still probably wearing the Sega jerseys.
I'm sorry, you guys celebrated finishing third in the Leicester season while Leicester were picking up a trophy.
You guys celebrated finished fifth in a 4-horse race.
No one celebrated finishing fifth. We were ridiculed. We were ridiculed the whole entire summer. Our fan base was.
I think you celebrated getting fourth before getting fifth.
Igal, I agree with you. Igal, I do agree with you. You made a great point. But at the same time, yeah, if we're gonna have that stick and beat them with, oh, you lot are happy being fifth and all that, how can a majority of our fans be happy getting fourth, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, eighth, fourth, give them a new contract, fourth? Do you know what I mean? Like, at the same time, if our fans are happy with that, you can't then beat Tottenham with that. I can say that because as an Arsenal fan, I'm not happy with that. So I can say that about Tottenham because they shouldn't be expecting, oh, we just fourth and they got one of the best strikers in the world, if not the best striker in the world. They should want more.
What's their excuse? What's their excuse to not have trophies on their in their books? Bro, you just mentioned the whole team is trash and you expect us to continuously get top four because of the club.
Yeah, because this manager ain't good enough. And he built this crappy team.
No, you can't have it both ways. Calm down, my guy. If the whole team is trash, but then the manager is also trash, how is he doing miracles, even competing with this team that you're saying they're ahead of us?
Let me answer you. The whole team.
Wait. Just quickly. So fifth was a miracle.
He's basically saying that because he's saying the manager's trash, the whole team is trash, but somehow we're miraculously still competing for top four.
I mean, to be fair, like fifth place is where you play the Grasshoppers from Swiss League and things like that, like kind of a north side.
You want to know something? You guys finished seventh the year prior, and you still got knocked out from the Conference League.
I think maybe different understandings of miracles.
Where did you guys think you were going to finish at the start of last season?
As much as you want to make fun of, we're playing in the Premier League, focusing on that. Listen, as much as you guys want to continuously talk about the Europa League, it's funny, ha ha ha. But you guys were in that competition for years. You never won it. You never got anywhere of note in that competition. That is a fact.
It's a tricky one.
And Arsenal are expected to win it. And if we don't win it, I'll be upset, visibly upset. Same with Northside. If we don't win it, we would be upset. If you guys get to a final, you'd be like, you know what? We got to a final. We should try to win it. You're not going to back your team and say, oh, we have to win this trophy. Tottenham, I never see Tottenham saying, you know what? We have to win this. Arsenal were in a semi-final of a League Cup versus Liverpool. We said we have to beat Liverpool. We didn't care how good Liverpool used to be. And you know what? When Liverpool beat us, we said, you know what? It is what it is. We now move on. We try to focus on the season because we lost the League Cup. But we still wanted to go for that League Cup. We don't sit back and say, you know what, we throw away trophies, throw away leagues, throw away FA Cups, throw away League Cups, throw away the Europa League. You guys threw away the friggin' Conference League campaign. You guys throw away FA Cups, League Cups every year under Pochettino back in the day. And now you're telling me about your standards are different. Your standards are the same as ours.
Look, Igal, thanks for the history lesson. I appreciate it. Again, everything you keep saying is past tense. We're in the future, and we're in reality. You guys haven't finished above us in the league.
But,
1 second.
But when I bring up,
no, we don't take pride in the Europa Conference League. But what I will say to you is, you will next season, hopefully. But just for 1 minute, right? You haven't finished above us in 6 years. You haven't been in Champions League in roughly around the same time. Get with the times. Get with reality. You say we celebrate failure. You're sitting here bigging up Arsenal, an Arsenal team that may have went from invincibles all now to finishing below Tottenham year in, year out, which is now becoming a tradition. You're falling from grace. You have to get with it. You have to accept reality. When I listen to you talk, it's all history lessons. I'm bored of the history lessons, man. I live in the now, and the reality is we run North London right now. Accept it, embrace it, and look, maybe one day you might come over to our side and support us.
We're looking forwards, not backwards.
The only thing Tottenham run is South Korea. That's it. Because you guys got Sun and that South Korea market on smash.
Well, at least we
went undefeated in South Korea. So
at least we don't run away.
The only thing you guys run.
At least we don't run away. You ran away from South London, and you also ran away from the North London derby last season.
No one ran away.
There's a difference between running somewhere and running away from somewhere.
Running away, going missing, running away, going missing. It's all the same thing. It's all the same thing.
That's what I'm talking about. Big dogs in town. I'm giving out the homework today.
There was a CV virus. There was a CV virus. No one ran away from nobody. You guys made up this.
You fake COVID tests. So we flashed you in May. Stop crying, Arteta.
I get what Egal is saying, but you got to set standards in your own club before you start playing other people.
Y'all behave. Come on, boys.
Antonio Conte is the biggest hypocrite on this whole friggin' world. This guy is making fun of Mikel Arteta for crying when he cries every single day. Oh my God, we lost to whoever we lost to. I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna quit. Next thing you know, he's pretending to quit to try to inspire the team. You're talking about people who are, what the hell is this? And then you're talking about complaining. The man was complaining about fixtures the other day. The same thing that he was saying Arteta was complaining about. I'm sorry. You guys constantly trying to make digs at the manager. Your own manager was doing the exact same thing.
Yeah, we never ran away though. We haven't faked any tests. We moan, but we get on with it. You moan and then go.
We'll get into it, lads. We'll take an intermission here, and I'm going to let you guys also take these super chats with me. Don't you worry, a gal in Northside. William Kelly with a really, really generous one here, and he's getting pumped, Dave, for this North London derby because William Kelly, I believe, has put a bit of money on also Spurs challenging for this title race, and this is an excellent opportunity, William, to definitely put our foot in that. And he says Arsenal are what Tottenham were under Poch, young, talented team which play beautiful football, but ultimately they will fail in the long run. Tottenham under Conte continue to break records and are a difficult team to play against. Arsenal are all possession. Tottenham will sneak a draw here. I think there is a very high chance we do sneak that draw here. And if anybody's going to find a way to sort of kind of shithouse his way to a draw, it certainly is going to be Antonio Conte. I'll tell you that, William Kelly. But I don't know, Dave. I think you've said this before, right? Where it feels like, whoever wants to, maybe Sean, do you feel like, Pochettino, is he like kind of similar to Arteta? As much as we love our Poch, perhaps a bit similar to the Lego man with kind of the young, talented team, the high aspirations, and it kind of ended up crashing and burning in the end. At least with our owner, it did. At least with our owner, it did. And who knows? It could happen with Arteta.
It will.
Yeah, no, I mean, I listen again. I reflect on the way Pochettino's time at Tottenham coming to an end slightly differently to a lot of people. I think that he got above his station even before the Champions League final, and he kind of made a rub for his own back. But I see the resemblance. I don't know how long was Pochettino Tottenham manager before when we got to the Champions League final?
5 years. 5 years.
So 4 years to get him to the final, and Arteta's been there 3. Is this his 4th season, guys? Is it
2.5?
This is his 3rd season. Yeah, so I don't see Arsenal doing as well as Pochettino did in terms of Champions League getting there. I can see the resemblance in terms of playing with a young team. But apart from that, I think Pochettino was a lot more. A lot more talented in his tactical approach to the game. I just think Arteta is. I think Arteta thinks he's more intelligent than he really is. He might be like, maybe if he took an IQ
he's
test.
An imposter, Sean.
You're just putting words in my mouth. I think you want to answer this one, Dave. No, I think he's a smart guy, but I find the whole thing that he does. He's like Frank Lampard. You know, he's got a super high IQ, but talking to people that are and trying to educate and trying to inspire players with this super intelligent conversation that, let's be honest, most football players probably don't have and probably goes over their heads. So I personally don't see it ending anywhere near as. I don't see the Arteta process ending up with a Champions League final. So yeah, as far as the only kind of resemblance I can put is that there was young talented players that didn't end up winning anything. But apart from that, I think Pochettino was a far better manager than Arteta will ever be.
I agree.
Yeah. Dave, any kind of quick thoughts on maybe the resemblance between maybe Poch and Arteta here, and also how perhaps Spurs have moved on from the likes of Poch, and they've moved on for someone like Conte, who, like William Kelly saying here, will be breaking records.
Yeah, look, I mean, I was saying to you, I was just giving the boys the lowdown, that we run North London the last 6 years. We're kind of centre-setters in a way, and then Northside quite graciously also said we're pioneers. So, I mean, for me, look, I think they're trying to copy what we done under Pochettino. I think they come to a similar stage where they had to press the reset button. They had to get rid of what was there. They conjugated a lot of crap, really, to be honest with you. And they had to bring in a young, hungry manager to manage some of their star players coming through. And look, I think Arteta's done an okay job. Will he take them to the next level? Will he do what Pochettino done with what we had? Nowhere near it, I don't think. But
sorry, one thing I forgot to mention. Sorry, Dave. Sorry, mate. Just before I lose my mind, if Pochettino was given the money that Arteta had been given,
350 million.
Or whatever it is, 400 million. If Pochettino had that much money at Tottenham, he would have taken Tottenham to the promised land, and I don't think Arteta will. Sorry, I forgot to mention that in my rant.
No, I agree. Yeah, Arteta's had 350 million. I think Pochettino went 3 windows without signing anybody. So I think there's to kind of back up what Sean says. It kind of reflects the caliber of the managers as well, which is absolutely brilliant. But William Kelly, big yourself up, brother. Aim higher, my man. Not a draw, a win. Be ready to receive it. Be ready to embrace it, and already plan out your post-match meal, my man. Make it an exotic choice because 3 points are coming. Big up, William.
I mean, with what Northside was saying, I wanted all of that, whatever he was saying. I mean, that's going to be my post-match meal. Big yourself up. William Kelly, really, really generous as well, brother. And hopefully you're keeping well. And say hi to Luke as well, brother. Jerome saying, to be fair to Arsenal, their first team is pretty solid, but they are a couple of injuries away from a collapse here. And I think especially with that defensive midfield position, with Thomas Partey, it feels like the moment he is gone, they're so easy to get at. They put in Lokonga. I mean, is El Neni really that much better than Lokonga? I'm not sure, but feels like it's just such a huge drop off. Whereas with Spurs, if they lose the likes of Bentancur, Højbjerg, or Jerome, it's not really as much of a drop off. They have Basuma, they have Skip to be able to come into the team. So I don't know, but maybe the whole 11 of Arsenal, there's certain players I must say that I'm quite jealous of. I'm quite jealous of that Saliba. I think that's a guy that we really obviously couldn't have gone after, but we needed a ball playing center back like him, Jerome, if you ask me. But pick yourself up, brother. And then he also says
you can't bash El Neni and then big up Skip. What the hell?
Hang on, was El Neni not?
Whoa! Hold on.
He loaned him out.
Like what the hell has Skip ever done?
What the hell has El Neni ever done?
El Neni,
don't rate either.
Club, bro.
I don't rate either.
Social media presence, my man's bigger than your club, bro. Straight, no joke.
So now we're measuring, but wait a minute, you guys were just bashing
social
Spurs
followers.
for making. But wait a minute, you guys were just bashing Spurs for making up.
Is that what you just said?
Just wait a minute. They were bashing Spurs fans. They were bashing Spurs fans for making up metaphorical trophies and all these sort of things. And this guy just claims social media followers as a trophy. I will tell you, and also ball knowledge, Skip better than El Neni. Just ball knowledge, Skip better than El Neni.
Skip is not better than El Neni.
No, he is.
I don't even care. They're both trash. That's not even.
No, Skip is not trash.
Even Salah would say that. Even Salah would say Skip is better than El Neni.
Say he's trash, bro. Northside, what is this? The guy, if you're gonna say Skip is any good, what is he good at? What is Skip
this is not the hill you need to die on. You don't need to die on the El Neni hill.
I generally want to know what you think Skip is good at. Because what is his
tenacity?
Everything better than El Neni is.
Tenacity.
Is he a good passer? Is he good defensively? Is he
better.
What? He's better
All those
defensively.
better.
Work rate.
Whatever word you mentioned, he's better.
Yeah.
You guys are moving mad.
Whatever word you mention that comes out of your mouth after, he's better than that.
Again, where I do agree with you.
Does he have any
Again,
pace? Does he have any stamina?
Again, where I agree with you.
He's been injured for a while, so time will tell on that one when he comes back. But yeah,
So
I think
why are you mentioning him?
because he's the future captain of our football club.
What the hell are you guys talking about?
He'll be the future. He'll be a
We were
future
talking
Tottenham
about the depth. I got a bit away from myself, Gal, I'll be honest. But we were talking about the
Oh my
depth that
God,
we have in
Northside, do you hear this?
midfield.
Their
We were
future
talking about the
captain is
depth we
Skip.
have in defensive midfield.
And you
We
think
I
they're
stand by that.
Yes.
Clip that. Come back to me in 12 years if I'm still alive.
Bro, you're lucky if Skip doesn't end up getting transferred away to like Everton. If Frank Lampard comes and buys Skip from you guys, he's doing you a favor.
What are you talking about, bro? Well, no, you can't have watched him.
I'll
last
be
season.
honest, there's a very powerful Skip fan base on social media that'll be after you as well, Gal. So just be careful of those DMs.
The only thing, come for me. I don't give a shit. Who is Oliver Skip? He sounds like a chicken meal.
Who is El-Neni? Who is El-Neni? He's famous for being Mo Salah's bag carrier on international duty. It's the only reason he gets brought off on Egypt.
Mohamed El-Neni is actually good enough to start for.
He was on his way out of the club. You were selling him, and then you done a U-turn and handed him a new contract. You keep falling into the same trap.
I asked him a simple question. What is Oliver Skip's key abilities? Is he a good passer? Is he?
I'll tell you what.
His key ability is being better than El-Neni.
He's a leader of men.
He's a leader. Work rate, tenacity,
He's hungry.
100%.
These are all buzzwords.
No, he's busy. He's a busy player. He gets involved. He makes
buzzword.
What's El-Neni good at?
Let them have him as captain. That's cool. That's cool.
He's not captain right now. He'll be captain in 4 years' time. You watch his progression. He's going to be. He'll be an England player. He'll be an England player in the World Cup after this.
He'll reach better heights. He'll reach better heights.
You
can't row a ball.
You can't
watch this space. Watch this space.
Ollie Skip,
the ceiling that Ollie Skip has is so much higher than your boy. It's not even true.
Man, he'll be playing next to Declan Rice in the next Euros. That's what I'd say. Jerome here with a super chat saying, failing to win a trophy this season is a failed season, period. No excuses for this team. It has been 15 years without any glory. We are all craving for one. I mean, Dave, you're nodding your head here. I mean, it's the expectation for Tottenham this season. And I don't think we can get to this question, but might as well mention it. It is one of the high expectations for Spurs this season. And maybe just so that Northside and Agal don't realize that I'm not too deluded here as the host, it is definitely an expectation of mine. And I think it's probably sort of at least a bare minimum expectation for a lot of Spurs fans is to actually, for once, be really, truly challenging for a trophy. And Antonio Conte is the one.
The problem isn't the fans, though. Like we all want to win trophies every single year. Every fan has always come into every season wanting to win a trophy. Mm-hmm. We just haven't been able to deliver it. We've been in a lot of cup finals, and whether it hasn't been backed enough or we've been unlucky or whatever it may have been, we just haven't got over the line. But we've been into plenty of cup finals over the last, 5, 6 years. We've been in loads. We've been in loads of semi-finals as well. We've been nearly men in the league. We haven't been too far off. With Conte coming in, I think that's the final step we needed. He's probably coming too late, to be honest with you. If we had Conte with the pot squad, we would have went on to win stuff. But we don't. But we have the right guy in place now in Antonio Conte. That's why we will challenge this season. We may be there in around 20, 25, 28 games, I reckon. Now, it's what happens after that. That will be a true test of our mentality to see if it has changed, to see if we can hang in there playing after City or playing before City and knowing you have to go out there and get the win. That will be the true test of this Tottenham team. But is Antonio Conte good enough to be able to bring us to that point? Of course he is. And that's the big difference between Arsenal and Tottenham right now. And that's the big difference going forward. Their ambitions, like I said, is walking out, trying to embrace that Champions League music. They miss it. They go to bed dreaming of it every night. They shed tears over it.
Would you say that all your fan base won a title? Are they thinking? Do they have the same demands that you have? Would you say the fan base?
They do.
I wouldn't say title expectations.
Some of the Spurs fan base put zero context into it. Like, I haven't dated 10 out of 10 Mila Kunis for the last 15 years. Like, I don't expect, knowing where I'm at in life, that I'm going to be able to do it just because I want it after 15 years. Like, Tottenham have to factor in that you could get to the final of every single competition and play Manchester City in the two leagues. You could get to if Jerome, and all due respect to you, Jerome, love you to pieces, my man, but like to say it's a failed season period if we don't win a trophy, I think it's madness. You're setting us up for a disappointment because, like, so you're saying that if we finish second to Manchester City on goal difference on the last day of the season, lose to Manchester City or Chelsea or Liverpool or Arsenal.
I think Jerome would change his question if we made it to the final, let's say, of an FA Cup in particular. I think Jerome maybe would change his.
There's not Jerome, maybe not Jerome, but there's a lot of Spurs fans, who say if you don't win a trophy, it is a failed season. And I think that you have to bake in the context of how difficult it is. And like Manchester City had a 9.2 out of 10 squad last season by the introduction of Erling Haaland. And even if Erling Haaland broke his leg, they still got Julian Alvarez to come in, who, by the way, is also an absolute superstar. Right, so they're like a 9.7 out of 10. Tottenham up there. Shake hands with where you're at in the process. Tottenham's team has improved. Tottenham's squad has improved. But just because it's been a long time since we won a trophy, factor in that other teams are doing things as well. And Man City, who are better than us then, have gone on and become even better now. And I think that there needs to be a little bit of a cooling of the expectation and to stop with the concept of if you don't win a trophy, you have failed. I think that's. I'm just
aim for every team, though. That's the aim for every team. If you don't win a trophy, it's a failure. Now, just calling it a failure doesn't mean that you can't see progress or you haven't done anything. But ultimately, you want to win the league. The aim for every team should be trying. Of
course, that's the aim. But if the outcome isn't where the aim is, it doesn't mean that you failed. If you're not hot, it doesn't necessarily mean you're cold. There's an infinite amount of degrees in between, right? And I just think that some fans need to recognize that the difficulty of what these aims are and these goals are. If we get it, amazing. If we don't, it depends how far away from getting it we are before you start to clarify or classify this. If Tottenham get knocked out of the Carabao Cup in the quarterfinals, the FA Cup in the quarterfinals, the Champions League in the last 16, and we finish fourth, I would say that's pretty much a failed season relative to where we got last season and the progress that we're trying to make. But to say that we finish second and get beaten in the final of every competition, to call that a failed season, to me is madness.
Yeah.
So sorry, that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, but you're gonna have to respond to Jerome here. Big up, and he's followed up with another super chat again. He says, "Gal, you fool! Skip single-handedly brought Norwich back to the Premier League. Yeah, it's great work rate. I mean, that's more than El Neni has achieved. And also, Gal, really appreciate your time. And I'm just getting your channel up into the channel as well. So respond to our boy Jerome here, who has been on Football Terrace, I believe, a few times as well. And then on top of that,
Jerome.
It is that Jerome. It is the very one. And also a gal, while responding to Jerome, give a plug for your channel, my man. And thank you for coming on.
Yeah, man, it's EGTV. It's predominantly Arsenal, but we do cover like the Big Six on Sundays on Vibes from the Six, and also on Thursday. So Thursday we're going to be doing tomorrow we're going to be doing a preview for all the games. So like the North London Derby and everything. And today earlier I had my guy Irish and a bunch of other guys on for a preview on my channel. So go check it out, EGTV Egal. And you can also find me on TikTok, EGTV Egal, and you can also find me on Twitter, EGTV Egal. So yeah, just go check out my channel there.
Everybody, link is in the description. Everybody click on it, get over there, smash that subscribe button. Egal, thank you very much for your time today, my man. It's been enjoyable.
Yeah, I won't be giving a score prediction, but I'll tell you guys, it's gonna be an Arsenal win, no question about it.
He's never sweated about it, is what he said. So I guess score prediction doesn't matter. Big up, Egal. Really appreciate it.
You guys have yourself a good one.
Egal, come and see us when we beat you, my man. Big yourself up, Egal. Big yourself up. Big up to Rome. What a comment. You're right. Skip, single-handedly brought Norwich back to the Premier League. And then he gets taken away to Egypt to carry Mohamed Salah's bags because they don't want him to hurt his shoulder again. So big up, Jerome. Really.
And I think he would have liked this as well. Jerome, Ben Kaufman, just to back you up, says El Neni makes Winks look good. And then he also said, for fuck's sake, El Neni is the Egyptian Winks, says King Huddle as well. So, Jerome, you're getting a bit of backup there. Ben Kaufman says if Mila Kunis splits from, I'm not sure who it is, Ashton Kutcher. I didn't know they were dating. She's mine, Shawnee. Back off. Looks like Sean. You
have a crack if you want, man. Set your expectations high. Go for it.
Competing in the final against Man City. Ben and Sean will be for the title of Mila Kunis. Pick yourself up there, Ben. And then another massive one from Jerome here saying, no, I will change my stance because the hurt is so bad. To get this close and fail to win a trophy is unbearable. So he's saying he won't actually change his stance. So sorry to speak for you there, Jerome, and I really appreciate the support, my man. And he says, we have to get over this hurdle. Do you know how sad it is to have some of these great players in Poch era actually win nothing? Dave, he's throwing a lot of bars left and right here.
Yeah, look, I'll have my say, and I think he's responding to Shawnee, so I'll let Shawnee in on it too.
Yeah,
look,
sorry, yeah. I said to him, I spoke for him, so he's also responding to me as well, because I kind of said, maybe Jerome would change his stance, and he said, no, I won't change my stance.
I don't think you should. Look, you know how I follow football, guys. I believe you should go into every season believing you should win the league or at least win a trophy, and then if as the season progresses, if that is not possible anymore, you change your objectives to the next highest that can be achieved. Look, for me, look, everyone's different. I'm not going to ridicule someone that sees it Sean's way, and I'm not going to ridicule someone that sees it my way. Look, for me, it's all about winning trophies. When I was playing the game, I used to hate losing. I wanted to win trophies. Well, I can understand Sean's point, but look, I go into every season expectation. I go into every season wishing, hoping, wanting something to change, that we will get over the line. We will, like Jerome says, get over that hurdle. It hasn't happened yet, and it is a shame that squad we have under Pochettino did not win a trophy. It absolutely deserved it. We were everybody's second favorite team when we had that squad. Everyone enjoyed watching us, and it's an absolute shame it hasn't happened. And we've got to try and make sure going forward that it doesn't happen again. But look, I think we've got the right man in charge in Antonio Conte, that in them big moments, in them big games, like he's already proven against Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea this season, he can get a team to put in a performance or at least get out of there with a result. So you put us in a cup final, this time round we have a genuine chance.
Just super quickly, Jack, if you don't mind. Look,
Sean. I was gonna lead you into it. I was gonna say what you and I were going back and forth, right? And I was sort of answering for Jerome, saying like I feel like he would change his stance, because maybe I was speaking for him, thinking I would change my stance, but he's kind of doubling down here.
Yeah, look, for me, it's about the etymology of the word failure, right? I think that, like, I go into every season hoping, and looking at whether or not Tottenham have got a realistic chance of getting a trophy. And I think we have got a realistic chance of getting a trophy, but it's just the kind of black and white, the kind of binary review of saying, if you don't do this, then you have therefore failed. If you have, then you've succeeded. And I'd flip it. Like I've had this conversation so many times. To win the Carabao Cup, you can technically go on and lift the trophy, never having to play a Premier League team, never having to play a difficult team. It very, very, very rarely happens in a way that a team would take on lower league opposition the whole way. But for me, the best barometer of where you are as a club is the Premier League, because you can't avoid playing the very best teams in the world twice every season, or the very best teams in the league twice every season. And to me, it's not so much about like it's just I just don't personally like the idea that just because you haven't done this, you therefore have failed. And if you have done this, you therefore have succeeded. Like if Tottenham finished 7th in the league, 8th in the league, had an absolutely appallingly like a nightmarish season where you'd win one week, then lose to Wolves, you'd go and beat Villa, then you'd go and lose to Leicester. That kind of flip-floppy season that Tottenham had back in the 90s when we did lift the trophy, right? That to me, if we go and finish 8th or 9th in the league and then happen to go and win the Carabao Cup by beating Blackburn Rovers and Bristol Rovers and Bristol City and whoever else, Nottingham Forest along the way, that to me wouldn't be a successful season just because we happen to have won a trophy. You have to bring the context and factor things in. So that's the way I feel about it, but I appreciate everyone's opinion. And
I actually think you and Jerome, like you say, you don't like the word failure. It's not in your vocabulary. Jerome doesn't like it either, and I don't believe it's in his vocabulary. So you probably actually see the same things, but coming from different sides, which is
good point.
Absolutely class. Big up, Jerome.
And also, Jerome, I love that he's very familiar with the football terrace. I know Jerome is. And so
Jerome's clapping back on Shawnee.
Just taking it to account what he could as well. Absolute legend he is. I also wanted to say big up to him, really appreciative, and also William Kelly, really generous. And then on top of that, Michael Anderson, Dave, I missed his member super chat, member for 4 months, just saying, come on, you Spurs. We better be saying that loud and proud. Michael, big yourself up. We have found an I would imagine an excellent replacement because it's a friend of Northside's here to fill in for the likes of a gal. He is another gooner because we don't want him to be bullied by the likes of 3 Spurs fans on the stream.
He's a
here.
Tottenham
So
fan anyway, Northside. Clearly, he's done a better job of
This guy
banting.
is deluded. I was watching Northside. This guy is deluded.
We're going to get him some support.
He's a friend, but we don't see things eye to eye. So I'm not accountable.
What's this? What's this?
That's crazy.
What's this? Tottenham happy. What are you happy about, bro? What are you happy about? We're gonna smash you up on Saturday.
Mr. Prince, how are we? We're kind of letting you kind of sub in for the likes of a gal, and we're kind of getting into we're midway through the show, is what I would say. So we've gotten through some things here, but maybe this question that I guess is on screen right now is sort of still up for grabs, and maybe you can get your quick thoughts on it. And I'm going to hit you with another one very soon, but. How do you feel like with Arsenal's season? And since I've been kind of told ahead of time you're a bit deluded, do you feel like Arsenal can maintain a title challenge with the likes of Man City?
You know what? I'm gonna say take game by game.
One game, whatever's in front of you, sort of.
Whatever's
mindset.
in front of us. Yeah. When people say, "Oh, we're beating whatever's in front of us," so bring on Tottenham, give them a beating, bring on Liverpool, and let's see what happens.
Guy. Bring on the next guy. Yeah.
How do you guys beat us on Saturday? Like, what is the tactic that you would like to?
Yeah, what's the
to
Tottenham
see your
weakness?
team?
Just Arsenal to beat Tottenham is simple. Score two first goals and that's it. You guys got to come out and we'll score the third.
Is that because you're kind of guaranteeing that you guys start off so strong? Because I'll be honest, one thing I am a bit afraid about the Gooners is that you guys start off first halves quite well, right?
We can't afford to get you guys in the game because one thing good about Tottenham this season, if in the last 30 minutes they perform, regardless who they play against.
Like second half, we're a different team to the first half.
Yeah. What you guys do is you allow teams to have the ball, play their possession, and that's how Conte sets up. And after the 70th minute, when players are a bit tired and their legs started slack and they've held the ball too long and they bump forward, Tottenham just comes at them, and you've got the quality to finish this. Put the ball in there. You've got Song, you got Kane, and you've got that new geezer. What's his name? Is it? Forget his name. Yeah, him. Do you get me? So that's what I say. If Tottenham, if you don't score against Tottenham in the first 50, 60 minutes, you're in trouble.
Big question here tonight, lads. And I don't know, Dave, give me some advice here. Who should I start with? Should I start with the maybe North side here? Or should I give it to maybe one of the Tottenham lads on this one? Because it is kind of an interesting question where, Spurs have continually finished above the likes of the Gooners. It's something I've kind of grown accustomed to, Dave. It's like
tradition, Jack. I told you, tradition.
It's like the chips that you get with your curry every time, Dave. It's something you get a bit accustomed to. You can't live without it. And now I can't live without finishing ahead of the likes of the Gooners. But maybe by the looks of it, I might just let in Northside him before Dave and I have a bit of a romance over this sort of this tradition of ours. Have sort of Tottenham maybe progressed in terms of, the status and, the evenly matched sort of kind of nature of these two teams? North side, and maybe Arsenal have sort of regressed. I think I know your answer, but I'm looking forward for a good one. Tottenham
have definitely progressed. You've got a world-class player in your squad. We don't. None of our players are world-class. You also got rotation now with Conte coming in. Obviously, qualified.
Yeah, we beefed up the squad, not the first 11, but we beefed up the squad. You're right.
Yeah, you lot got rotation. I can't remember the last time Tottenham had rotation on the bench. You lot always used to just have a starting lineup, and that's about it. You know what I mean? But you see how you guys handled Son. Wasn't playing well, put him on the bench. You got Richarlison, you got other players now to come on to affect the game, to actually put your big hitters, your best players, not Harry Kane as much, but yeah, he can be, depending on how you want to set up. But you don't have to... Harry Kane and Son are not, you're playing week in, week out, and that's it. And I think that's a strength, whereas we don't have that. If our starting lineup doesn't do the job, we don't have anyone from the bench to affect the game the way that you have. And I think that is a sign of proper progression because you need a squad. You need a squad to compete on all fronts. You need a squad to be performing week in and week out in the Premier League. You need squads because injuries, etc. happen. And this is what I've been saying to Arsenal fans to calm down because a lot of them are getting very excited, not realizing that every time we rely on our bench, they most of the time let us down, or you see a big drop in the levels. And also, you got a better manager. And, you know, I was born in 92. I've never seen Tottenham look or be better than Arsenal. And you have been better. You know, I can't lie. You've got a better manager for once. You've got a better striker.
Can you say that again? I just enjoy that. Can you say it again?
Listen, you're not going to like what I've got to say coming up now, because at the end of the day, as much as I can give praise and be non-biased and say, listen, you guys have the manager I want. You got a better striker. You got a better winger. Cool. But you don't win nothing. So your progression is irrelevant, because in my standards, you lot ain't won nothing. And I don't see the demand from your club nor your supporters to win something. You gas up your players, but then when it's time to be like, let's go for the league, let's go. No, everyone's not united.
Standards need to be higher.
Egal was trying to pull you guys up on your standards, but then he calls people like me that hold the standards up here about winning and says I'm delusional. So his logic doesn't really work, because he keeps one energy with himself that fourth is the holy grail. And you lot, if you don't have the standard of winning the league, then you lot are failures. It doesn't really work, you know, and that's the sad thing. But to end my point is, you've progressed, but your progression has led to what? And Igal was correct when he said, even though you've progressed, we've won more silverware. And ultimately, football is about silverware. Let's be real. The reason we say Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, Barcelona, big clubs, Man United, Liverpool, is about cups. So anyone that says to me, oh, it's not about winning. So how do you rank teams?
What about the fans of the other like 88 clubs in the football league that don't win anything for all their entire life?
They're elite teams, are they? It's simple. They're not elite.
You're saying football's only about winning. Like, it's not.
I agree with him. I agree with you saying.
It is about
I
winning.
agree with this guy. This guy is
about winning.
right. I agree with him. It's not about sometimes support.
Competition is about winning.
It's about passion. It's about energy. It's about experience. It's about.
And this is why you guys don't win anything.
No, but
because you don't put enough emphasis about winning. And this is how my club is now not winning anything, because my club now peddles the crap of it's not about winning.
You know what?
It's not about winning. They're always talking about the Invincibles.
I would love Tottenham to win every week. I'd love Tottenham to win. I want Tottenham to win trophies.
We are winning every week.
As much as any other Tottenham fan that demands trophies, just like you're doing if you're Arsenal fan, not like having realistic expectations, recognizing the level that you're at versus the level that's going on and the realities of what's happening outside of the little microcosm that is your particular club, whichever club you support, is not necessarily accepting failure or accepting mediocrity. It's about recognizing the reality of the situation. I don't think that Tottenham, in all likelihood, are at the position right now when you reflect on, like, if you were to make a stack rank of every single squad in the Premier League and say, where does Tottenham sit for its squad and its potential, when you include the manager in there, I'd say Tottenham are about the fourth best squad with the manager included. And then you put Manchester City, and if you were to actually factor in the gap, it's so much higher. So to sit there and demand winning and say, if you don't have a demand of success, that makes you a loser's mentality, or that's the reason why your club is where it's at.
No, it's not those. That means but okay.
I don't
No.
Let's not call it a competition then. Let's just make it a charity. Everyone's a winner.
That's extremities. You're taking it too far the other way.
Look, everything around football is great. There is more to look. There is more to football than trophies, like, you know, the enjoyment of it, everything else. But at the end of the day, you want to win trophies. It's the main aim, and should be the main aim and goal of every single team.
Yeah, but the reality is,
your level is, no matter what your level is, your aim should be to try and go on to win stuff. But to get back to maybe the question, look, I'll be honest.
Can I land with it?
Sorry, go on.
Your second, Prince. We'll let you in second. Yeah, you're right after.
Let me land. Well, I agree with the guy above the north side, because the fact of the matter is, the fact of the matter is, Arsenal fans, they crack me up when they say, oh, we support Arsenal because we win. No, you support a team who you choose and you want to support. If every Arsenal fan, and this is what I say, if you guys, it's like an Arsenal fan, demand wins, mate, I've seen Barcelona and Real Madrid win 8 league titles in a space of 10 years. So if I want to support a team that's winning, I'm going to go support Real Madrid. Because I've seen Real Madrid win 6 or 7 Champions Leagues.
But isn't the point though that you've seen Arsenal be that sort of team in the past? Isn't the point that you've seen that?
That was the time he decided to be a winner.
When I was a kid, it was between Aston. Like when I was young, Aston Villa were the team. Jamie. They won the Champions League, and they won the League One, and they won the Champions League. And and that's what I'm saying. And Liverpool conquering too. And when Liverpool conquered, I supported Arsenal. That was the team I chose. I stuck by them.
Why are the most successful teams the most supported teams? Because it's about winning. People are attracted to winning. People want to be winners. I'm coming every
journey as well, man.
Forward in every sport. You bring up Muhammad Ali. Why don't you support the bums he smashed up in his day? Why? Because you don't care about the losers. So stop.
So you chose Arsenal when you were a kid.
The Lakers and all of this, yeah. In every sport, we talk about the winners. We don't talk about the losers.
No, I chose my team though.
We don't care.
But if
would you like to be a Manchester City fan? It'd be so boring.
Why don't you go support Sunderland or Dundee United or Scarborough?
No. The fact of the matter is, bro.
No, it's true. It's about
but your team. You're saying to me, listen, I have never seen Arsenal dominate a fourth. I have never seen Arsenal stay on top. Man City, like Guardiola said, when he took over Man City, he said, I'm not here to win a title, I'm here to maintain it. We've never done that. So when you're talking about winning, Arsenal fans is a reality check. We've got to the top, but we've never stayed there. Whereas Man United, they've got to the top and stayed there. You guys make out Vieira and all that. They were top players, but they never stayed at the top. They still failed as far as players because they were competing, but they won at the top. And the fact of the matter is, that's why we are not a team like you all think we are. We are a big team in England.
No, but because the club is invested in losers like you that celebrate and want to get a DVD out. This is the problem. Yeah, this is the problem.
Do you me people? The football terms. I'm football terms. Do you me?
Let me
the second lads, yeah.
What I will say is, I think when you talk about the likes of Patrick Vieira, Robert Perez, etc., you were competing on an elite level where you had the chance of actually winning something every single season. You were always sort of like contenders or spoke about. Now, over the years, even before Wenger got sacked, he went away from having big, physical, strong, dominating players with skill to bringing in all these little midget Oompa-Loompa players, 5'4", and that's why you started losing to relegation teams and stuff like that, where before you were beating them because you had boys who could handle the battle when the games become more physical. Ye have regressed from that. And over time, over the last 6-7 years, slowly and quietly, Tottenham are starting to progress. We were getting to the level where we're starting to reach finals, applying our trade up in the top echelons of the league. Yes, we haven't won anything, but we are putting ourselves and we're back in a position now. Maybe we let it slide for 2-3 years, but we're putting ourselves back in a position where we have a potential to win something. Before we were unlucky, or maybe we didn't do enough personally to get in transfers or whatever to help Pochettino maybe have that extra player in the final to get you over the line. But this time, when we're still backing it around it, we've had our blip. We had our blip with Jose Mourinho in there where we went down to Europa Conference League football and we're still back up in the big time. And you're still regressing, in my opinion. And that's why I would say Tottenham have progressed and Arsenal have regressed.
Yeah. I also, to be honest, just quickly, I want to get my thoughts in here. As much as you can tell that Northside's answer was a very intelligent answer because it clearly sparked some debate. I mean, I think we have 4 or 5 voices shoot up at once he got to the end of it. And it showed that, he put his, he spoke with his chest there, and as well as he spoke with a lot of honesty. And there were some parts that I disagreed with on his part. And then there were some parts I actually really agreed with. So if anything, I don't know if it was a level. I don't think he was shooting for like a middle ground argument. I don't think you were going for that north side, but it's sort of like parts of it maybe Spurs fans would agree with, parts of it Arsenal fans would kind of agree with there. So I think it clearly raised some good debate. So might give an award there maybe to north side for sort of definitely the best answer there. But moving on to kind of the next question here, lads. And I would say for some reason I can't control my mouse, but there we go. But when we kind of move on to maybe kind of the wrapping up this sort of show, maybe getting to some score predictions, we do kind of have to get to one question in particular first. Who will finish higher at the end of this season here? I don't know. Who do we start with here, Dave? Who do we start with? Maybe you pick this one.
Yeah, look, I can go first if no one else wants it. I'll be honest. I'm amused by the question, Jack. I mean, there's only one answer, you know. We proved it last season. Even when Arsenal are so far ahead, they're still going to have a collapse. The greatest collapse since the Berlin Wall. They're starting off well this season. And again, the naivety, like it showed at the end of last season in the North London Derby, where our players showed the more experience, being able to handle the pressure of the occasion more than what the young Arsenal squad did. And also, our manager absolutely beat Arteta up in the press beforehand and after. And I can see the same sort of happening again, to be honest with you. Look, we're going to finish ahead of Arsenal purely because we've got a more experienced squad. We've genuinely got world-class players. We're not sitting there debating, are they world class? We just know they're world class. It's not even a debate. Kane, Son, Romero, Lloris, you know, I mean, we just know they're world class. Theirs are more prodigies. And the reason why I keep talking about the naivety of Arsenal, they're a 15-year-old on the bench. I mean, what are they running? A youth project over there? It's absolutely ridiculous what's going on.
In the morning. School in the morning.
Eventually, it's going to show. It's going to show. They were lucky against Fulham. They were lucky Palace didn't take their chances. They got bet by United. So they're not as good as maybe what the Premier League is showing you right now. And they're playing scintillating football according to half the press and half the Arsenal fans. We haven't even got going yet. And that's the scary thing. We will finish above Arsenal this season. We're going to be a lot closer to City, I reckon, than any other team this season. And that's purely because Conte has the know-how to pull this squad together, to get them through the games, to manage these players. So Tottenham are finished ahead of Arsenal. Clip me, because it's going to be sensational when you guys are calling me the prophet at the end of the season.
Might as well go to my Spurs brethren here. And Sean, do you agree with Dave? Are we finishing ahead of the likes of the Gooners this season?
Yeah, I think we will. I think that ultimately the squad that we have and the squad that Arsenal have, I think Arsenal probably have a better 11, or at least a 1 to 8. They probably would, if you were to pick a best version of it, they'd probably fill more spots until you get to the front three. But I think the manager and the experience that he has is probably the difference. And also, if there's a couple of injuries, you know, Arsenal squad is thin, Tottenham squad is a little bit thicker when you go to the bench. And I think that sort of stuff will dictate. I also think that, though, there's a lot of variables that could influence what happens. I don't know how much money Arsenal would have to spend in the January window. I don't know how much money Tottenham are going to have to spend in the window, but I think that's going to play a big part in it. I also think that, as I said earlier, I think that there's a lot of people who are going to take a lot away from the result on Saturday. And I personally think that if Arsenal win, if it's a close game, but Arsenal nick it 3 points, then there's going to be there's so much more pressure heaped on Arsenal because the narrative is going to be that they can go all the way. And I don't think that Arsenal are ready to feel the weight of that. If Tottenham, but I also don't think that changes too much for the Tottenham narrative, because we always generally struggle there. If Tottenham somehow find a way to secure a win on Saturday, then I think it's clear that Tottenham will finish second. Also will finish above Arsenal, but also I think then people will start to take Tottenham more seriously. And then I really want to see what Tottenham can do when they have the weight of that pressure. And I wonder, and I'm curious to see how Conte and his coaching staff can handle it. But ultimately, to answer the question specifically, yes, Tottenham are going to finish above Arsenal. I think Tottenham will finish above everybody apart from City this season.
Sean, I actually think that article that you were reading where it says Arsenal are going to run away or, go away with it or being a title run, I think it was a misprint. It's supposed to be run away, Sean. You know,
they're not running away. Not running away with it. They're running away from it. Yeah.
That's what it was, a misprint. They've gone from winning trophies to being specialists at running away, quick getaways. You want a quick getaway? Call Arsenal Football Club.
It's a necessary distinction that needs to be made there. Good point, Dave. Prince Fuad TV, which is a beautiful name, I must say out loud. I absolutely love saying it. Where will Arsenal be finishing? Underneath the likes of Spurs, or for the first time in a long time,
100%.
on top of Spurs?
100%. 100% finishing above Spurs this season.
Do you believe
Give us
it?
the logic.
Yeah, I believe it. I think.
Give us
Well,
the
Say it
case.
with your chest,
Give us the
I'll
case.
break it down how it is. I'll break it down. We'll smash you up on a Saturday. we got Liverpool. We'll do Liverpool. I think we'll do a win against Liverpool. 7 years is a long run running. We'll beat us to like Leeds United teams around us. Then We got Manchester. Then we were supposed to play Manchester City. Then we played Chelsea. Then we go to the World Cup. Then when we go to the World Cup, we have Brighton, and we have Brighton, and we have another. I think then we got I think it's Nottingham Forest. Is that we got Nottingham Forest and Chelsea? Then we go to the World Cup and we come back Brighton, and then the transfer market opens.
There's no way you believe what you're saying.
If Arsenal and they're on a ball, they are guaranteed, even if we don't sign them, to finish above Tottenham.
Wow. First
We're
time in a
playing
while.
fossil football.
How will you be celebrating, Prince? How will you be celebrating, Prince? Because it'd be the first time in a long time that you would have finished above the likes of us.
To be honest with you, bro, I won't celebrate and finish above Tottenham because I
think you should.
Because what I've done, I phoned up the Premier League and I've asked him to do a North London Cup to give to you lot because you finished above us the last 6 years, and that's a great achievement. So that's how I see it.
I think you should. I think Northside would be quite ashamed to see you celebrating that, but at the same time, it's been a very, very long time since you guys have been able to achieve that. So I think you probably should celebrate it.
Mikel Arteta got no excuse. He's experienced now. We can't use that thing. You know, when he first got the job, I said he's going to make a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
So now,
I'll just have a quick
he's been in the
question
job for 3 years,
What do you think?
and now he's got to get it right.
What do you think of Mikel Arteta's strange, weird methods that became to the forefront in the All for Nothing documentary that you guys put
From
out?
drawings to light bulbs.
Some of them methods, the light bulb, playing You'll Never Walk Alone, drawing diagrams, you know, and there's more in there. What do you make of it? Just curious.
Myself, to be honest with you, you know, when he worked you could see when he walked into the job, these guys had no ambition of playing for the team anyway, club anyway. So what he does, if his methods, whatever he does, all right, I might not agree with it, but it's shown this season that it's actually it showed some affection on the player and it's working because the players are playing for him. Whereas before, you know, even though people can mock him all they want, but we haven't been this good for years.
Wow, your standards have really dropped over there at that side of London. Really have. Northside?
Well, we're going to hear them maybe raised up again by the likes of Northside when it comes to it. He likes to raise
Northside's going to have a meltdown now, bro.
He likes to raise the standards, so he does. Northside, where will Arsenal be finishing this season? Ahead of Spurs, underneath Spurs? It's one or the other. It can't be, it's binary.
Well, I'm glad to my left, DJ Khalid has stopped speaking. Let's put some facts. At the end of the day, at the end of the day,
another one.
The North London derby. I see a draw, but I think for Arsenal fans this season, winter is coming. Winter is coming. The squad is a shambles. I am sorry. The midfield is still probably the worst midfield at the top six. Gabriel, if he gets injured, is still a mess. We have no rotation, so our youngsters have Arsenal on their shoulders, Martinelli and Saka, and we see them burn out to the end of last season. It's going to happen again this season. Got rid of Pepe. Marquinhos ain't ready. We've got no rotation. Emil Smith-Rowe, always injured. Thomas Partey. We should have got Basuma. We should have got Paulinho, which is a Portuguese player that I saw because I watched the Portuguese league. And I said we should get Paulinho, but what do I know? We're going with El Nene, and look, both of them are injured, and El Nene good enough. None of our right backs are good enough. If Saliba gets injured, our centre backs are trash. It's a mess, and this manager's a bum anyway. He shouldn't even be here anyway. So at the end of the day, for me, I think Spurs are going to finish third. Arsenal are going to finish sixth. And the reason I'm saying that is because last season we dashed everything: the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, to go for the league.
Oh my God!
Still flopped. No, we still flopped. And Spurs had Nuno Espirito Santo for over half that season, and we still flopped it. So now we're going to have to stretch this team with Eddie Nketiah, El Nene, Lokonga, all these bums, that ain't good enough on the bench, They're going to have to be playing. This manager already shown that he can't.
Yo, Wizkid, calm down, bruh. Yeah? Wizkid, calm down, bruh.
What? Well, hold on. Don't make me expose you, because last season you said Tottenham are irrelevant, and then you got your ass handed to you. You calm down, yeah. Don't make that come and do another one.
Bruh, don't you ever back your team, bro.
Another one.
Don't you ever back your team.
Relax. Yeah. At the end of the day,
you are deluded, bro. You are deluded.
I'm realistic because this club have not done what.
No,
they
no,
should
you ain't
have
realistic. You're
done.
plastic. Come on, bro. You're taking a
Oh,
mix.
is it? Oh, okay. Remember in January, I told you we should have bought some players.
Don't worry about you told me, bro. We win these next 2 games. We don't win the book games.
Yeah.
No. I object.
Prince. Quick, so I can find a mediation, kind of between the two of you. So I believe you said, you guys would finish above Spurs, which is certainly a
He doesn't
take.
I said it.
But regardless, to find a mediation, he said that you guys would finish 6th. Where would maybe you would, where can you guys find a halfway point? Would you say is 4th possible for Arsenal? Is 3rd or 4th possible for you guys this season?
You know what let us down last season?
It's 4th, maybe actually the ceiling is what I should say.
Do you know what let us down last season? We were losing to all these teams we're beating now, the teams we're supposed to be beating. That's what let us down last season. So top 4, like I said to him, all right, if we beat when we beat Tottenham and then we beat Liverpool, then we got Nottingham Forest. We should be beating them. We got Leeds United. We should be beating them. That's gonna and they're gonna find. Listen, these Arteta out fans are always gonna find an excuse. So regardless, bro, they're gonna. Do you know what they're gonna say?
I don't think you realise the fall from grace your club has had.
Can we have a reasonable conversation? Who do you think finishes top 4? Sorry, Jack, to ask a question on your show.
Go ahead, Sean.
For me, I think everyone agrees that Man City are going to finish first, right? Can we get a unanimous? No. Okay. If not, I know Dave is delusional, and I love it, but it's lovely delusion. But okay, but Man City first, like second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. Like, is Man City 6th? Do we agree that they're not going to make it? Do we all agree on that one?
Man City are first.
Yeah, sorry, Man United. Man United 6th. Do we agree that they're not there yet under Ten Hag?
I don't think they will.
I think personally, I think top 4 is up for grabs.
For United.
Yeah.
No. Oh, I think it's up for grabs for both Arsenal and Spurs by the looks of it.
Spurs are definitely in top 4 for me.
I personally think Arsenal and Spurs will finish in the top 4 comfortably. I think we're going to finish 3rd, and you're going to finish 4th.
And who's second to you then, Prince?
I got that feeling Liverpool are going to go on some mad run.
You think they're going to turn it round? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, I can get on board that. I don't think they're going to finish second. I think Liverpool will finish 3rd. I think Tottenham 2nd, Liverpool 3rd, Arsenal 4th. And to me, overcoming Liverpool, like considering how good Liverpool were last year, for me, that's a really, really good season for Tottenham. And then you got 5th and 6th will be Chelsea and United. I don't know how do you guys feel about that?
Wow, Arsenal above Chelsea and United. I don't see it. I really don't see it.
Oh, that's not a surprise.
Nah, at the end of the day, your bum of a manager didn't do what he needed to do in January and in the summer. It's not my fault.
You don't surprise me one bit.
If you did what I needed to do,
the Arsenal fans revel in failure, though.
I mean, they're doing the job for us.
We wouldn't be in this position, but apparently, you super fans.
You know what it is? I'm a realist. I'm a realist.
Project Youth. Okay,
I'm a realist. I'm a realist. I know this man was going to make mistakes, but I know now he's going to get it right. I'm a realist. I'm not a delusionist.
If anything a Lego man knows how to do is rebuild, I'll tell you that. Jerome with a super chat saying, I agree with Northside that all teams, I repeat, Jerome saying, I repeat with Northside that all teams compete to win trophies, but to support a team because they win. Sorry, I'm saying this wrong. I'm almost like
you're reveling in your joke, Jack. You're all over.
I feel like I was.
It was a good joke. It was a good joke.
I actually do have a little bit of double vision sometimes. I do have double vision. And he said, "I agree with Northside that all teams compete to win trophies, but to support a team because they win trophies is wrong." There you go. You have to fall in love with the team to call yourself a fan. Trophies or not. He agrees.
I agree.
Jack, just quickly on that one, right? Because I wanted to way back when
you were talking on this too, Sean.
Yeah, way back when the initial conversation came up. The one thing I wanted to get off my chest was like I would feel sorry for Manchester City fans who had grown up being Manchester City fans and had always finished 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, like got relegated, came back up, got relegated, came back up.
No.
And then all of a sudden, like it was like a tsunami of money came in and then a tsunami of success happened so quickly that now it's boring being a Man City fan. Like if you win, it's well done, pat on the back, you well done for doing your job. And if they lose, then like the sky is falling. For me, they had no ability to appreciate the journey. And whether that journey is 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20 years, whatever. Like I actually have respect for Arsenal and I have respect for more for Arsenal and more for Manchester United than I do for like Chelsea or City. And I'd throw Liverpool into the first category as well, because they generally did it organically, right? Like they've always been good teams, but they got there. And then, of course, there's things happen in cycles. Arsenal were going through a poor, they're in a downturn cyclically if you stretch out long enough and zoom out. But teams like Man City and Chelsea were nowhere. And then oil money came in, or dirty money came in from whatever part of the world, whether it was Russia or whatever else, and then they just accelerated through it. And if you were a fan of Chelsea or Manchester City, you never had the ability to sit there and see your team go through the process of becoming a superstar team. And for me, like that's why I would hate to be a Man City fan or a Chelsea fan, because it's like there's none of the fun of the journey. And Tottenham,
I would love their arrogance. I would love the arrogance they have.
Well, but you know what I mean. But it's not like it's arrogance because what? Because you happen to support a team
every week.
Yeah, but like
because you're invincible.
But you're not a winner.
Check power. You have the power of the blank check.
But you yourself are not a winner because you happen to support a team that wins. You know what I mean? Like people that demand success.
I am a winner though.
I know you're a winner for various reasons, Dave. But it's not because you don't. It's not because you support Tottenham. It's not because you support Man City.
Agree.
Like people that demand success from their club, or things that they have absolutely no control over. Like that doesn't make you a winner. Being a winner if you demand success from yourself makes you a winner, right? The things that you have no control over, like your team that you support, like that's irrelevant. So for me, like I feel like, you know, being a Man City fan would be I think it would be a sad thing if you went through that whole process and just skipped through the journey. And
if anything,
it's
that
been a
would
long
be
journey
huge
for Tottenham,
culture
but we'll
shock.
get there eventually.
Be a huge culture shock to go from being kind of mid-table fodder, let's be honest, to being all of a sudden like challenging for the likes of the league, you know, and kind of have that much of a culture change. That would be crazy. But North Side though, Jerome from who definitely, I will say, likes to kind of go toe to toe with the likes of the Arsenal fans. Jerome does for sure, but he's reaching a hand out to you, my man, and he's saying he agrees with you.
Oh, no, side. Every Tottenham fans agrees with him. It's not hard
You're
to
on
agree.
mute, Northside. I think you're on mute.
Nah, big up to him. Big up to him. At the end of the day, some people, is he a Spurs fan? No, I'm a realistic Arsenal fan. And at the end of the day, not to be shady, but at the same time, it's not a success if my club ain't winning trophies. It's about winning trophies, and that's what I want for Arsenal. I got big standards because I want the best for this club. And I find it surprising that the average Arsenal fan these days is happy for us to finish 5th, 6th, 8th, 7th, 5th, and think that that's okay. I think that's what a Spurs fan would want Arsenal to do. Because then we're not winning trophies. It's crazy. It's all reverse these days.
You know what I say to all these Arsenal fans who blame Arteta? Where have you been for 22 years? Because we haven't won a title for that long.
So I've only supported Arsenal as long as I've had a channel. Is that what you're going to say?
No, I'm saying
what are you talking about then?
No. The problem is Arsenal fans. They put all in a bunch. They put all
the nonsense.
No. Arsenal fans, you Arteta out fans, you blame him for stuff is the club that he had nothing involved in. If anything, he's come to the club and changed the structure. He's changed the transfer structure.
If you're going along with this owner, then you're part of the problem. If you're not part of the solution,
you know what Arsenal? Do you know what Arsenal used to lose? Do you know what Arsenal? Do you know what? No, I'm not part of the problem.
Big up Jerome.
Big up Jerome.
Fans like you see. You don't see the problem because when Arsenal used to lose to Bayern Munich in the Champions League like 10-2 in aggregate, you know what Arsenal used to do? Shrug his shoulders. So there was a problem with the club, and that problem continued.
Seems like, you know, we're going to shrug our shoulders at the end of this debate show, lads, because, you know, as good as it's been, you know, we're probably not going to find a real resolution, but that's how it always is when it comes to the North London Derby. Big up Jerome, and really appreciate your support. You've been an absolute legend tonight.
How do
Jerome.
Arsenal do on 12 o'clock kickoffs, by the way, guys? Do we know? It's like Tottenham struggle. Do Arsenal do well on midday kickoffs?
Well, we smoked Brentford, didn't it? So just go and check that game, innit?
Oh yeah, you did smoke Brentford. That's true. You did. You did. You did.
Yeah.
You did. I thought you guys were going to struggle there as well.
Also, Jerome, I must say as well, brother, please come on to you popped on for half a second onto the fan show. If you are available Friday, Jerome, I really want you to come on. Your fellow Australian Ribsy also comes on as well, brother. So please do come on Friday if you're available.
Jerome.
Kev
Not
Williams
London
says,
Derby, no excuses.
I know it's the best week for him too. We need that motivation. Kev Williams says Arsenal and Europa 2 games a week. They'll fall apart. I mean, they haven't even gotten used to the Thursday games, says actually a gal from earlier. I mean, he said he's only had the chance to celebrate one Europa League game, Kev Williams. And I guess, soon they'll be able to understand maybe at some time after Prince's prediction, if it were to come true, if the likes of Arsenal were to finish above Spurs, who knows? Maybe they could celebrate the European
I want
nights.
Arsenal to win the Europa League. I won the Europa League.
Very, very very tricky trophy, I must say, Prince. I wish you the best of luck, but really, insincerely, I wish you the best of luck. Lazy 8 says, if Arsenal and Spurs both finish up for the season, does that change the dynamic of the top 6 for the next couple of seasons? I've been speaking about this, Lazy 8, and maybe it's kind of a topic, kind of a talking point for next week, or even for the future to come, with maybe how the season is going. Are sort of Chelsea and Liverpool maybe falling off, the likes of the established top 4 places, and maybe, just maybe, Spurs and Arsenal kind of replacing Chelsea and the likes of Liverpool for those established top 4 places. Like always, Nick, we like to get ahead of ourselves on this channel, but it's a very good question, my man. I can't wait to talk about it next week. Maria Williams saying here, before money, Chelsea had less trophies than us, then they bought them. I'd rather support a team because I love them and support them as it's a family team. I think Jerome agrees with you there, Maria, and I can tell Sean really agrees with you as well. Big up Maria Williams, absolute legend. And you have to fall in love with the club first. I think that's the most important thing.
It has to be a connection.
You fall in love with the club first. Maybe other things kind of fall.
But at the same time, if you were 8 years old right now going to school, I reckon most kids in your class would probably be Man City fans.
Yeah, damn right they will.
And if you went
or
back
you
to
pick
my
the one
day,
with the nice kit, or you pick the one with the nice kit.
And when in the early mid 90s, when I was a kid in school, most of the kids, and I live in Surrey, South London, most of them were Man United fans. So, and I'm sure in the 80s, go back a decade, they were all Liverpool fans, right? So there is a correlation between you pick your team.
Chelsea was the 2003 generation of fans.
Like I said, Aston Villa dominated the season and won the Champions League. Nottingham Forest did it back to back too.
Yeah. So, lot of 60-year-olds that are Nottingham Forest fans. Not so many 25-year-olds that are Forest fans.
I'm just saying, when I was a kid, Aston Villa were good. Aston Villa were really good when I was a kid, and Liverpool. So I just thought, I just stuck with Arsenal. I stuck with them.
The Prince agrees with you here, Maria, and I know Jerome agreed with you, and I can tell Sean
100%
agrees with you as well. Big up, Maria Williams. I really appreciate it.
Don't worry, in a few years' time, Chelsea gets stripped anyway.
Yeah.
Well, lads, we're reaching kind of the end of the show here. We're going to be plugging some channels. Prince, I'm going to start with yourself. I'm going to get your score prediction here, my man, and I need as well also maybe a bit of a plug for your channel as well, because we do appreciate you kind of filling in, being that super sub to come on. If only Arsenal had the depth in the bench that maybe the likes of Northside has here, because he has excellent super subs to bring on, but I'm not sure if Arsenal does. So tell us about the channel. No. He's got some good subs, I must say. You've been an excellent addition. I'm not sure if Arsenal have those subs.
Northside knows who's a real footballer, because he knows he can't play football like me.
But tell us about the channel. Give us that score.
I'm Prince Fuad TV. I like talk about. I have debates with boxing with a few people. Like I have a few people on my channel, like Randy and sometimes Kenny. So you'll find me at Prince Fuad TV. And score prediction: 2-0 Arsenal.
Deluded.
Just sub, my man. Just sub. Are you a boxing fan as well? Are you, Prince? Yeah.
Yeah,
love it. Okay, I've just subbed. I've subbed for that rather than the Arsenal stuff. But
I do more boxing. Arsenal just with Northside, and I'll do anything. I'll talk about Arsenal football. I'll talk about any football team. I'm a football fan in general too.
Nice, nice.
Northside, putting in your channel right now. Please, everybody, give him some love, because I must say, what I've heard from tonight is, for the most part, Northside speaks sense. I really like this guy, Northside. I would imagine maybe some people would just like to show you at least a bit of love, or at least maybe check you out from time to time. Northside, tell us about the channel. Give us that score prediction as well.
No, I love, guys. Thanks for having me on. Top guys. I enjoyed the first time and enjoyed this time. Just a shame that you support Spurs, but it's all right. You know what I mean? It's all forgiven. You know what I mean? But yeah, Northside LDN is the channel. If you want to come come down. I know obviously your fans are, well, everyone that follows you guys are mainly Spurs fans, but I watch some Tottenham channels as well, Man City, Chelsea, just to see what's going on. So if you ever want to see what's going on with Arsenal, some honest opinions, some big debates, Forehead's always on the channel as well. I welcome people that have the Arsenal fans that have my opinion, and Arsenal fans like DJ Khaled that's a bit deluded. So everyone is welcome. Make sure you like and subscribe.
Another one.
It is
Another
what it is,
one.
man. You know what I mean? I will agree with this.
I'm conquered. Do you know what? I've got a lot of people. I swear down. A lot of people come and said to me, you know, I used to be Arteta out with all these buffoons, but now another one. They're all joining the king. Do you know what I mean?
I will say.
What's that?
I will say, everybody, get over and check out Northside. I actually sometimes sit there with popcorn in the evening and watch Arsenal fans attack each other. It's good banter, you know. It's what gets me off, you know. So everybody, get over there, check it out, smash the subscribe button.
And he's been a top panelist as well.
Listen, what I say is this: you know, if your kid is doing something that they shouldn't be doing, sometimes they need tough love. I've got tough love for Arsenal because they're not doing what's needed. Doesn't mean I don't love Arsenal. I love Arsenal. I can't stand Tottenham. Tottenham, I think it's going to be a draw. You will finish above us, but ultimately, you lot are going to be celebrating nothing because your club don't win anything. It's
probably true.
Repeat. I've been very kind, but ultimately, your club are specialists in failures.
Oh, no.
I just can't wait to be celebrating the Al Neni social media trophy that we were speaking about earlier at the end of the season. That's what,
Al Neni's quality, mate. Al Neni's quality. Al Neni, what a player. Quality player.
What does Ollie Skip have above? What does El Neni have above Ollie Skip? Social media subscribers.
got the weight of Egypt.
The funniest answer I've ever heard in my life.
Shoulders. That's
I couldn't believe it. I nearly fell off my chair.
That's brilliant.
But Sean, you've put in also an absolute shift today as well. As much as these guys have bravely come on, you have also bravely come on tonight, Sean, and put in the shift. Anything people should know about on Spurs Talk Show?
Yeah, no, a lot of fun. Thanks for having me. Great to meet you guys. Both sub to both your channels, and I will sub to a gals afterwards as well. Yeah, on my channel, what are we doing tomorrow? Dave, I'm seeing you. You're coming over for the free-flowing Tottenham at 6.
You best believe it.
And then, yeah, look, guys, had a lot. The channel's grown really quickly over the last couple of weeks. Been dropping. It's been so boring. I've been finding things to talk about with my Tottenham walks with my dog Bugsy. So every day at midday UK time, I drop a 20-minute video walk and talk in the countryside. And then, yeah, I'm going to get back to doing live streams once the football starts pretty soon. But yeah, tomorrow at 6 is the next live stream with Dave over there. So yeah, appreciate you having me, guys. It's been fun tonight. It's been really good. Oh, and my score prediction is 2-2.
Love it.
2-2.
Love it.
Yes,
Everybody, get over to Shawnee's channel. Smash that subscribe button. What an absolute legend. I will be over there at 6 o'clock tomorrow. And Sean will also be back here tomorrow evening with Sim from We Are Tottenham TV for the show that we were supposed to do Tuesday. And I was at the Aviva. Everyone else was busy doing recording for this week, so we moved it to Thursday so that you guys out there don't miss out. But
mate, you promised me the dot. You promised me the Doherty review. Is he up this game? Is he ready for the Arsenal or no?
Do you know what? Respect against Scotland. He absolutely abused Kieran Tierney and got him taken off. He just abused him. A nice elbow into the jaw, stepping on his heels at every chance. He absolutely mashed him up. You would say probably a preview of what's going to happen Saturday lunchtime, but. He was okay against Scotland. He done all right, but then he threw out a lazy leg defensively, let the Scotland player get the ball in the box. They scored from it. And then against Armenia last night, I mean, Sean.
Shocking, right? I heard, yeah. He said it was terrible.
He's just got so much time and space on the ball. Go and attack that side. They offered absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. We were dominating. Go and attack it. Get balls into the box. Play with a bit of freedom, like you're fucking enjoying the game. And
against the Armenian left back, he didn't do anything.
No, every single time he came back inside with the football. Actually, at one stage, I couldn't believe what I was watching. He picked up the ball on the edge of the box, done a step over, done a Zidane turn, but then the Armenian player took it off him. But no, he was absolutely disappointing last night. Troy Parrott couldn't get into the game whatsoever either. You know, look, we ended up scraping a winning 3-2, but they went up and scored two goals in quick succession.
5-goal thriller.
Yeah,
it was. They scored with only 2 shots on goal. To be honest, we're just shocking.
Was that with the Southampton goalkeeper Bazunu?
Yeah, the first one he made a brilliant save and pushed it onto the post, and then they followed up with the rebound, and then the second one, well, he was a good finish by the Armenia player. To be fair,
Fair enough. Spurs talk
Last
show, guys. Spurs talk show. Sorry. Yeah.
Spurs talk show, everybody. Yeah, and also David will be on the channel tomorrow, everybody. So just follow Sean and David over to Sean.
Can I say something to you, Spurs fans?
Yeah, Prince.
When Arsenal beats you, I'm more than welcome to come and give you some therapy. So no problem. You know,
Come back. Wait, is it a promise that you'll come back if we smash you as well?
That's not happening. My shoulders are ready. My shoulders are here for you all. So no problem. That's not happening. That's not happening, lads.
make sure them shoulders are good and strong when I need you to lift me up for the trophy parade down Tottenham Highway, my man.
I think I'll be in the seven heavens by then. That's going to happen in 2099.
Also, lads, please check out the North London Derby podcast that Dave and I did. I think it's gotten a really good reception thus far, but please, if you haven't already, do check that out. But I think that's the end of the show here, everybody. We really do appreciate these Arsenal lads coming on today, being very brave, as well as just giving us some good discussion, some good crack at the end of the day. But everybody, I think they're going to probably regret us or probably not like what we're about to say, but I enjoy saying it. Dave, I think we're going to sign off here with a big come on, you Spurs, and in Conte we trust.
Come on, Arsenal.
Arsenal fans.
Oh, the Arsenal.
Cry more.
In Conte we trust.